In this video, we will talk about classes in C#. A class is a construct or an entity that lets you create your own custom types. For example, I'm a human being. I have eyes, I have legs, I have hands, I have nose, I have a mouth, and there are things I can do. I can create a model of myself inside C# using classes. Let's say we have a car also. We can define the properties and the things a car can do. Let's actually go ahead and do that in code. I'll go into my terminal and create the project for our classes. I'll open it up. And then I'll start defining my class elements. And this is how I define the structure. I put the keyword class and then I give it a name. Let's set up a car, shall we? So I'm setting up a class called car. Then I can determine the properties of the car. For example, the make of the car, pardon my spelling. I can also declare the model of the car, and I can define the year of manufacture of the car. If I now want to make use of this, I can go ahead and create a new instance of class. But first, let me make this public. I will explain to you in later videos why I am using the keyword public here. Alright. To be able to create an instance of this class, to be able to create an object out of it, I have to instantiate it. So I would say car, my car is equal to a new instance of the car class. Then I can say my car dot make equals Toyota. I can also say my car dot model equals Prius, and I can also say my car dot year equals 2020. This way I have been able to declare all the elements of my car. Then I can output this to the console. Let me make this a string literal. Pardon me. Model rather, and then I'll put in the year of the manufacture. If I run this program, I should get a nice output that prints out Toyota Prius 2020. Oh, there will be a problem here. I need to end this statement. So let me save that again and run this. Before I run, let me clear my screen so it's visible enough for everyone. In a few seconds, my project will build and run. You see, I get Toyota Prius 2020 printed out to my console. Now, I could do a lot of other things. This is a way I can instantiate my classes. I can also instantiate it this way. Let me say this is my other car equals a new instance of a car, and then I can set the fields and properties of the car right away. So I would say the make is a Ford Focus and the year of manufacture 2019, and I can also output this to the console. So I can say console.writeLine. Then I put in all the variables. I'll just do a little bit of copy and paste over here so I don't waste our time. I'll replace my car with my other car, and of course end this statement. Let me run this. We should see Toyota Prius and Ford Focus printed out of the console for us. There's a little bit of problem. Invalid initializing member. Let's check where that is. Line 15. Oh, my bad. Model equals, and then the year equals 2019. Let's run this again. I see my Toyota Prius 2020 and my Ford Focus 2019 printed out of the console for me. So I could initialize the field members as I declare an instance of the car without having to do my car.make, my car.model, or my car.here. Another thing I could do with classes is define what we call a constructor. A constructor is that thing that runs before any other bit of code in the class runs. So I'll declare my constructor this way. It bears the same name with a class, and it looks like just like a method, but it actually is not a method. It is a constructor, and it declares things and all the things you want to declare, you want to run before any other code executes in your class. For example, you can say, when I create a new instance of a car, I want to do a console.writeLine, creating a car. Then if I run this, first let me clear the screen and let me run this again. I would see creating a car first before any other bit of code runs on my car. As you can see, creating a car ran first before any other bit of code. I can also have constructors that take in parameters just like methods. So I could have public car and then pass in variables. For example, I want to declare the make, the model, and the year as I create a new instance of this object. And in there, I want to do a console.writeLine then in there I would put a string literal that just outputs things for me. So what I can do is I can say this dot make equals the make I pass into the constructor, this dot model is equal to the model I pass into the constructor, and then finally the year, this dot year is equal to the year I pass into the constructor. Now you would see I'm using the this keyword. The this keyword is used to define the current instance that the class is in. So if I'm creating a Toyota, it will be the Toyota instance of the car that the this keyword would be referencing. And then I could put in now this dot make, this dot year, and this dot model has been created. Now to use this constructor and pass in this object, all I need to do is say car, my other nice car, equals a new instance of car. But in this case, I am passing in the variables all at once. So I'm saying I'm putting in a Nissan Juke 2020 model, and if I run this code, I should find out that this code will be printed out to the console for me. Let me run that. In a few moments, I should see my Nissan Juke printed out to the console for me. Oh, I think I messed up the structure here. So let me make this come over here. And I think everything is fine now. Let me run this again. I could also create methods inside a class. For example, I could say void drive, and I would say inside here print something out of the console. Is moving. All right, let me run that. But before I run that, let me actually modify a little bit of code here. You know what? Let me comment out this rest, and then I will just say my other nice car dot drive. But first, I think I need to make this public so I can properly reference it. I will explain the public keyword when I get to scopes and access modifiers. Let me run this now. I would see Nissan Juke 2020 is moving just like I have it here. I could have other type of classes. For example, a class that I do not want to create a new instance of it every time. A good example is the console class that we've been using all the while. You will see that we did not do console equals new console and then we start declaring variables inside it, but we used it just as it is. So a static class lets you use members and variables and methods of a particular class without having to create a new instance of that class. Let's say for my car, I have a utility class. Okay, let me create a class called utility. And then what I want to do in here is I want to make it a static one such that I do not have to create a new instance of it. And in there, I would create a static method. I'll make that be a method that returns void. So I could say print details. And then for this, I'll put in a parameter car. Alright, so I have this utility class here. Of course, let me make this public. And what I want to do, instead of having this method do the work now, I want to pass this over here. So what I want to do now is I would say console dot write line. I'll format this later on. And what I want to put there is the details of the car. So I would say the car I put in here alright, was accessed, and I'll put in the current date and time. Let me put date time dot now. You know what? I'll make it short date string. Shall we try that out? Now, to be able to use this utility, all I need to do is say utility dot print details. You would see I did not create a new instance of utility class, and then I can pass in that's my other nice car. If I try to run this, I should get the output of this console operation. Let me clear the screen before I run this. You see, Nissan was accessed on this particular date. I could make this method also return an object, a variable, a type. I could make it return anything if I want to, and I could make this basic. We'll talk about extension methods when we get to the more advanced bits, but let's stop here for classes. I hope you liked it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you will get notifications when I post new videos on this channel. See you in another video. Goodbye.